doing really well in that, winning it, and then you know, the elimination mode a couple of days ago versus Complexity, they played really well. So EG looking really hot recently.
Yeah, in fact, that's actually good. But I believe that was even yesterday. They played against Complexity and they won that series 2-0. It was a fairly easier series, it felt like, for them. So, yeah, no doubt the favorites. But anyone that knows me, of course, and my history, my background, I love Complexity Gaming, Swinamelons, and Z-Freak. I do have history with these players here. I'm not going to be a bias caster. I'm going to do my best not to be a bias caster, of course, but I'm looking forward to seeing how they match up here today. And you could argue, of course, a little more serious of an event. A large prize pool on the line and that spot for the LAN. Anyways, we got this draft underway here, you could say. And, you know, look at those 2 bans from Evil Geniuses. Those are not bans you have against every team, but I think Complexity is one of these teams you're going to ban both a Leshrac and a Warlock against. How about that?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they've picked this Leshrac so much that it's gotten to first ban worthy, but I don't know, they're gonna ban out. I guess just banning comfort heroes. I don't think Lesh is that strong, but they do play it pretty well. They do like a lot of dual offlanes a lot of times, so they'll put it on either Swindle or Moo, and they'll just like do these clowny dual offlanes, and they'll just like kill heroes all the time, and the Lesh sort of like fits that style pretty well. Reasonably strong in lane, has a lot of kill potential, which to do quite often, doing these kill combos between Moo and Z-Freak.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm kind of a numbers guy as well. I'm no Nahaz by any means, but I'm a little bit of a numbers guy. I do use the Dota Buff site, a little bit of research to kind of help prepare here. And I was looking at Leshrac. They actually have picked him 7 times within the last couple of weeks here, and he's 6-1 with them. So again, it kind of goes back to being a very comfortable hero for the team that is Complexity, at least. Now, I noticed that Batrider pick coming out there real quickly. Speaking of something else that's really interesting, that was another hero that kind of stood out to me when it came to the stats, because Complexity, they've banned this hero 21 times. Insanely more than any other hero. They've only picked him up once, actually, themselves. But they're going to run with it here, that with the Kunkka so far. So we'll see how it works for them. But what do you think about the Batrider?
I mean, it's just a good hero. The Flame Break nerf sort of changing the dynamic of the hero. Not as much like, you know, TP cancel, obviously a good nerf to the hero. He's too strong in lane before because there was really no way to get away from him if he did get on top of you with sticky stacks. But once again, sort of that dual kill combo they like to do. They give Moo a hero that's pretty aggressive, that can make moves on the safe lane whenever, you know, just around the map whenever he gets some levels, and they put Z-Freak on some Kunkka, some Mirana, and he gets a few levels, and they rotate up to the safe lane. They just try and pile drive on that.
5 seconds remaining.
How about that Nyx pick up to go with the coL? I'll talk about losing your mana. That's definitely a possibility here. But Nyx, I love to see in, you know, aggressive hands, and I'm sure Evil Genius is going to be running it that way, of course. But that, you know, with the ability to relocate as well, or recall, excuse me, on top of that. They don't got a Wisp here, but could be pretty powerful. Could be fun to watch here. But Nyx, what do you think?
He's really good versus the Batrider, one of the best heroes, because you just walk into his Firefly and carapace him, and then you have the stun afterwards. He's a hero that can do pretty well versus the Batrider in lane, or, you know, at least survive. And I think I like this coL pick a lot early on, because Complexity does like to do a lot of dual lanes. They almost always give Z-Freak a sort of roaming hero, and they don't start off dual lanes, but he'll migrate up to the off lane after a few levels. And the coL is like one of the best tri-lane heroes in the game. So if EG like does want to go for an aggro tri-lane, if Complexity safe lane is weak, then they definitely can do that. Especially since, like, you know, EG's players like really good at doing tri-lanes, you know, understanding the lane mechanics and stuff. And Swindle not really known that much for being like, you know, the king of like early game of just, you know, like he gets out of position a fair amount. And so I think that's something they can punish.
So we see the bans to follow. I gotta say, I always do a little cheer on the inside whenever I see a Naga ban. It's just one of those heroes that, I mean, do you feel kind of the same way? Is Naga just not the entertaining of a hero, you think?
Yeah, he's very stale. Cuts all your waves, makes the game last long. The game's either a complete stomp or, you know, it's very long, and one team just slowly grinds you out and wins. And Arteezy is also infamous for being a very good Naga, and also pairs very well with the coL. So just a good overall ban.
Yeah, a couple support options taken out there from EG. You got the Shadow Demon as well as, of course, the Oracle to go with that. So, ooh, Lina pick coming out for Complexity. Another kind of not your everyday hero, but thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to be a Swindle or a cancel hero. It's sort of like on the same vein as the Lesh, you know, a similar hero, one of the other big mid heroes back in the Lesh Lina Storm patch. And it's I don't know. It seems like a hero that Swindle would maybe play. Not a great mid hero nowadays. Really easy to rotate on, and also not great versus the Nyx because you do have stuns. The mana burn is really good versus Selena. Now they get the Lifestealer, another hero that just does really well versus Selena, and they really have nothing for this Lifestealer right now.
What would be that something? You think just more physical presence in the end, or what?
I mean, there aren't that many things that really do that well versus Lifestealer. He's just sort of like one of the strongest carries right now because he is like quite good in lane. He lends himself really well to good pickoffs in the mid game. He's good at 5-manning. You know, after leading into a fight with like the initiation from the Nyx or a Slaughter is a common pairing with him. And like, there's just not that many heroes that are that good versus him. But a hero like Lina that is like really squishy, easy to get jumped on by the Nyx Lifestealer and just die in 2 hits. And obviously all of his spells do literally nothing versus the Lifestealer. So not really like some glaring pick that's really good versus the Lifestealer, but Lina is the antithesis of very good versus that hero.
Yeah, that was quite the snap pick, too, by Crit right there, taking that Lifestealer. So now Complexity really thinking about this. Melon's, of course, the captain, putting some extra thought into this drafting. I was having a conversation with some viewers of mine earlier on today, kind of about Complexity in general and the drafting of Swindle and how, from even his previous history and how it's kind of translated into the Dota scene, it really seems like he's all about these objective-based kind of team fight lineups in general. That's why the Leshrac, the Warlock, seems like they happen to be popular picks for them, especially the Leshrac compared to maybe other teams. So I'm kind of wondering if we're going to see something similar here, or if maybe knowing that they're going up such a great team in EG, if maybe they'll change it up right here. But they do go Slark actually with their 4th pick, so perhaps a little bit different than expected. But is that solid pick against a Lifestealer or no?
Yeah, Lifestealer is typically known as one of the better carries versus Lifestealer because you can always just ult. He can never use his E on you, so there's not really a way for him to like just one-on-one get onto you. It requires the Slark to get jumped, and he's also not a hero that's very easy to get on top of because it's hard to tell if he's dark pacting and he's farming waves or not. A good Slark will save it to finish the wave with it, so not really easy to jump him in the lane and get pounce away. And also, Lifestealer is a hero that can get kited pretty easily by the Slark. The pounce working really well when Rage is on cooldown.
Ooh, Rubik coming out. Speaking of support options. Any obvious abilities here that they went the Rubik for, or just support that they liked?
I mean, the boat's reasonably easy to steal. X is always nice. There's just honestly a lot of like spells that aren't typically known as being amazing spells to steal. No Ravage, no Black Hole, stuff like that. But a lot of just nice spells. Boat, X, Torrent, the Lina's nukes, Batrider, Sticky Napalm is always good. Slark, Pounce can be okay at times, and also Rubik a really good tri-lane hero. Sort of like I said before. You can always lift into the Illuminate, tons of damage, pull him back into the Lifestealer into the open wounds. And Slark is one of the weakest carry laners in the game. Really low armor, terrible stat gain, and just like super easy to bully early on. And with this Kunkalina Slark, not really this coDL Rubik Lifestealer lane, if they do choose to go aggro, should be able to do really well down there.
Yeah, something else I've been thinking about too. I mean, and one thing you could say Complexity has, again, quote-unquote, an advantage on is the fact that they have been playing a little bit more. You got these top echelon teams. You got Evil Geniuses, DC, Wings, Gaming, of course. They haven't played a whole lot post TI6, post what they did there at TI6. So Evil Genius is definitely fitting under that umbrella. We mentioned they happened to play yesterday against Complexity, but in an event that is known for being a little bit more on the fun side, obviously with the way it drafts and everything, not necessarily your serious tournament matchup. So I'm not saying that's going to boost Complexity ahead right here, but that is something to keep in mind that EG's basically been off for a little bit here as far as tournament play, but it's safe to say, with their experience and where they come from, I don't know if that's necessarily going to affect them that much here. I think a Razor.
Yeah, oh wow, yeah. So they wanted to go for the Invoker, obviously. So they just banning out a hero that crushes the Invoker in lane, so we can have that good start. Now they have this really nice pick-off potential with the Nyx Lifestealer bombs into the Sunstrike, and also if they do go for that tri-lane, having even more kill potential now with the Sunstrike on top of the Illuminate with the lift. They go for the TA.
Ooh. All right. Well, physical there. I mean, you sound a little hesitant on the TA.
No, this is a good TA game.
Okay.
It's just it's good versus Invoker in lane. They don't really have any ways to break the Refraction easily good versus Lifestealer because the hero doesn't really have that much armor. Typically goes for Armlet, and that's really the only armor item he builds. And because he is Strength hero, he doesn't naturally get that armor from having his Agi increase massively. TA a very good hero versus Nyx because it's almost impossible for the Nyx to break your refraction charges that easily. All of his spells only burning 1 charge, so TA is very good here. I just worry that they may lose all their lanes too hard and just sort of lose their map control, that things will get hairy. But if they do get a good start, their lineup, does have a lot of pickup potential. They like to fight early and often. All of their spells are quite low cooldown, so they're going to be looking to, if they can make it out of this laning stage all right, be fighting nonstop.
Here we go. Again, this is game number 1, best of 3. Here, 1 of 2 best of 3s today. Of course, NP versus Team Freedom going to be taking place later on today, but got to get through this series first, and hey, I'm not complaining about that one. Love to see it go the distance, especially being that's what I'll be biased for. But obviously, again, EG, the favorite. You feel like either team drafted, if you're not looking at the teams of EG versus Complexity, do you think either one necessarily drafted better here? A little more confident, perhaps?
I think I favor EG's draft because I think this bottom lane is going to be really rough for Complexity, and with their lineup, like Slark is not a hero that plays well from behind. They have a lot of pickup potential versus the Complexity heroes, and TA, once again, a hero that does not play well from behind. A good hero whenever you have other heroes that can go in first, that can initiate the fights, and so she can sort of jump in after on the squishy supports once they've shown themselves.
30 seconds.
But when she's behind, can't really blink and commit to fight. She'll get cold snapped down, Nick stunned. And I think that's where the issues are going to come in. The Complexity's early game may just be too bad for them to sort of get to that stage where they can take fights nonstop and be really aggressive.
Sumail Invoker, it seems like chat's liking that one. Definitely kind of another fan-favorite combo. Of course, Invoker in general in good hands is obviously a lot of fun to watch. Bottom Rune, a little bit of contention here, but seems like Evil Geniuses, they will protect it and get that to Sumail. Speaking of him. Batrider going to pick up the top rune, actually, up here. So it looks like Z-Freak going to start up here at the top with that Batrider. See how that works for them.
Yeah, the Complexity classic Z-Freak and Moo going around trying to dump on the safe lane, but EG with the aggro tri-lane, realizing how weak this Slark is, and we talked about in the draft, they're gonna try their best to just crush him in lane and cripple his early start, slowing down that Lothars as much as possible.
You got Crit hanging off to the side, the early Sentry Ward also placed on top of that, so getting some presence here in the lane. But yeah, they don't know Rubik's here. It's got that lift ready to go. Could they maybe get a level 1 kill, or they're going to have to wait, you think? No, they're going to go for it, actually. There's a lift in the air, pushing back as the burst comes out with the Illuminate, but he should be fine. Open wounds is up. Yeah, he's good. A lot of pressure.
There's that combo.
Yeah.
You just lift into Illuminate, and some slaps now. Already had to use a pounce his salves. Only the 4 tangos left, and obviously since the landing phase just started, nowhere near his level 6, so sustainability quite far away, and now going to pressure him under this tower, forcing him to miss all these last hits while they just sort of walk around and mess with him. Yeah,
so that's a victory in itself, right? Not getting the first blood, but forcing all that region you're mentioning, just putting the pressure on. That's what they're banking on. So the decision here clearly paying off for EG already from the beginning, but very early on, not to get too caught up here. But so this goes to Complexity now. You mentioned the roaming Z-Freak on that Conka, loves to do this. Should he be coming bottom, you think? Could that actually make it a contestant here for Complexity, or is it just not worth it?
I don't know if he does that much versus these heroes. Maybe they can do something, but the issue is Slark, like I said before, is just so weak early in the laning stage, so they're sort of getting that lane up as lost and trying to shut down Universe, but not really working too well right now, as he has 7 CS, almost level 3, so about on par with the Batrider. So, but once this Bat does have some levels, they'll be able to threaten a kill on the Nyx pretty easily, and I think that's what they're looking for. Going to try and win this top lane so hard that they can sort of make up for that bottom lane going really poorly.
Yeah, it makes sense there. Again, you see JK, though, at the bottom right here. He is not having a good time. Only 3, understandable, though, because of the presence. Really just needs to be careful not to die, and as I say, the Sakata will come from the side, but there's the quick bounce, and again, he'll continue to be fine. How about this middle matchup? We do have Sumail on the Invoker versus Cancel on that TA right here. Looks like Sumail going pretty aggressive, actually. Gonna get the cold snaps out. The minion doing plenty of damage. Not gonna be enough for the kill initially right there, and I don't think it's gonna happen in the end, although the chase is on. Oh, the Sunstrike! Oh my god, it did not hit, and actually TA gets credit for the kill onto Invoker. Oh, that was silly.
Wow, that was very aggressive. just barely missing the Sunstrike. If that had hit, he would have gotten the first blood. It would have been worth, but not getting that, and not the start you want for Invoker. Only 4 CS as well to the cancels 9. Definitely a TA favored matchup early on until the Invoker has more levels and Quas and can sustain through the Sideblade harass. So a very good start for the TA in a game where he needs to be ahead. And if he is ahead, can do quite well.
Well, I caught the top lane action, too. Speaking of that, you know, it ended up being a 1-for-1 up here, actually. They ended up diving, killing the Nyx. However, good job by Crit, at least, turning on a Batrider and getting him taken out. They still believe that Kunkka's up here, but he's been gone. He actually ported out. He did have enough mana and everything, so he's been gone out of there for a while now. But ended up being, again, they got the Nyx kill first. So I still think Complexity pretty satisfied with the overall situation right there, especially getting that first blood on a TA, who's now going to go for that top bounty rune and the 4-minute rune coming up on top of that. So yeah, the start looking a little solid here for Complexity as far as the early game goes, but still plenty left. Oh, this top rune could be action. Crit thinks it's a free rune. It ain't one, though. He lifts him up when Z-Freak is here as well. There's the combination with the Torrent. Is this going to be a kill? Crit on the run. Happened to be a haste rune. Oh, boy. That was a perfect rune right there.
Yeah, haste rune is the only runes that make him live there, and he gets the one, so the classic.
Classic haste. 4-minute haste rune coming through. So Crit, those skills will allow him to survive right there and be fine. How is this bottom lane continuing to work, though? 17-4 Nyx. Yeah, looking good. Is he looking to basically get the infested up into Nyx, excuse me, and now I'm confusing the two. Nyx into Nyx as far as using that infest bomb. Is that going to be the combo we're looking for, probably?
Yeah, he's really the only one of their heroes that pairs well with the Nyx as far as, you know, doing the bombs goes, so probably going to be looking for the arm up before he does too many rotations early on, as he can just sort of sit in this lane and bully the Slark. The Slark only sitting at 7 CS to the Lifestealer's 24, and no regen lull. He bought some more tango, so I had to figure out more regen only with the boots now, so really, really suffering versus this lane. And Crit leaving as well, so going up top, pulling already a level 4 on him, and 3 on Zai, so looking good on the XP department as well.
Yeah, and you see, obviously, Swindle Mountain's getting himself killed to the neutral right there on purpose. Combo coming out. Samel did not expect this from the Lina being here, and Cancel will help assist for the kill. The Sunstrike ain't going to do a damn thing. TA right there, well played. Gets credit, but that was all really Melon's porting in, catching him off guard, and throwing out that Dragon Slave of his to secure that kill in the end. So, well played, and Samel may have cursed him a little bit, being with the fans excited and everything like that. All of a sudden, he's 0-2 here to start. So, I think he can recover, but not the prettiest of starts, though. But that means it's TA, though. Cancel's probably looking very good as far as his net worth going over to that. Yeah, happens to be top of the game right now. How much is snowballing TA? Like, how impactful do you feel like? Actually, Swindlemelon's in trouble here. Hold up top for a second. I think he's dead. Open wounds comes out. Sunstrike not even necessary. So, yeah, back to the TA point, though. Is this going to be scary for EG, you feel like, as far as TA getting a good start?
Yeah, I definitely think this is a game where TA can really flourish. Super good versus an assassin, really good versus Lifestealer when you can burst him down. If they can get a lasso on him, combined with the TA's right clicks, they can kill him really easily. But TA is not a hero that really does super well on her own, so gonna need some of the other heroes on our team to be doing all right, so they can make space for this Slark to catch up. Probably gonna be the Kunkka and the Batrider and the TA maybe going around sort of the kill squad, trying to make space for Slark to catch up to his Lothars after this really bad landing stage.
Yeah. Yeah, open up the game essentially for Slark makes sense. And speaking of Slark, what is this down here? Nake's actually diving pretty deep. Just going to walk it off, though, despite Lina porting in. Not even using that rage right there. Not necessary, so just walks away. Double damage rune has been down here, meanwhile, at the bottom rune spot since the 6-minute mark, I believe. We'll see if which team eventually gets around to picking that up. Oh, Nyx is down here. That's the Nyx assassin, that is. Opens up with a Vendetta. And the Sunstrike just securing the kill, because why not? And, hey, a little bit of extra farm for Samil right there. So that's going to be that combo coming out. The Nyx setting up into the Sunstrike. It really is a lot of intense damage, obviously. So it's not much you can do about it if you're these squishy supports, especially in this game right now. So
yeah, it's a really nice rotation from Universe, realizing that they are putting a whole lot of pressure on this top lane. They do have kill potential on him. So just moving around, getting the kill, even though it's just on a support, forcing Swindle back to base, had used his TP to port down to bottom, so not really able to go to another lane right now. Gets his Arcane Boots in that kill, and Crit, all the meanwhile, getting XP top, so almost level 6 on Crit. Doing really, really well level-wise, and, like I said before, a lot of nukes, a lot of just small spells, the spells that are really nice to steal on the Rubik.
Middle lane. Ooh, looked like they were trying to set up on a TA right there, but ain't going to happen. A little bit too quick to react, and we'll be fine as a result. Obviously, killing TA is probably on the higher priority list right now for EG. A haste rune could help with that. That's going to be picked up by Universe right there. They're going bottom lane. They're diving JK. You see Lifestealer looking for him right now. Well, Slark, though, he's hiding. He's got that passive kicking in from the Shadow Dance, so he'll be fine, actually. Unable to find him. Good job getting away. But now middle lane, they're the ones in trouble. TA kind of going in, as well as Kunkka comboing down Samael. In the background, though, the flank. They need to be careful about this. Samael puts out the Sunstrike, says I might as well do something. If I'm going to die right here. He does. Gets a little bit of damage out. Will fall, though. Z-Freak gets pulled back in. Not going to be enough. TA still going Mammo, though. And Crit, the one, taking some good damage right here. Push back from the Flame Break. Is it enough follow-up damage? It absolutely is. Batrider secures the kill. And now Nyx Assassin trying to get a turn himself. Impale comes out. They do kill the TA, so they make him pay right there for going a little too deep, and it ends in a 2-for-1. In favor, though, of Complexity. Number-wise, at least.
Yeah, they killed the Lina at the beginning of the fight
yeah.
with the Vendetta hit, so probably coming out ahead for EG, killing the TA, the most farmed hero in the game at the time. But Lifestealer having to rotate as well, so giving a little more space to the Slark. Actually, not doing too bad right now after Crit rotated out. They sort of broke up the tri-lane a little bit, and not dying any, a huge part of that. So going to be able to farm the jungle with a level 4 Dark Pact. Probably catch up reasonably well. He does know they have a ward here, so EG messing with the Slark early on, making sure he can't move from camp to camp super fast, and maybe going to be looking to kill him up early.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, well, I'm actually curious on your thoughts on this here, because I've happened to notice this a couple of times recently. As are we going to see something bottom lane? No, Lina being here. It's going to be a little scary, but actually Lifestealer's running in. There's a Vendetta, so maybe we are actually. Who are they going to go for? They're going to go for the easy target of Sweato Melons. The open easy kill. Mana burn on the JK. Still able to pounce, though, but they know he's somewhere in here. He does not. He does have a TP, not enough mana. Is not going to be able to use it, but he'll be fine as move ports in, and that'll scare off the rest of EG. So, but that kind of leads into what I wanted to bring up here. Drums finished on Batrider, so not making a point to, maybe rush that Blink Dagger here. Does that make sense to you? Just get the early Drums instead?
Yeah, I think it sort of fits into the style they want to play. They just want to run it EG. The Slark Shadowblade is sort of what the initiation they want to have. You have the X to lead into that, and so the Batrider just giving everyone move speed, helping everyone run in. Pairs well with the TA, with the Lina, these heroes that have a lot of damage but aren't super mobile, so it lets them get into position easier. And those also just nice stats in a game where EG has a lot of bursts, a lot of ways to kill people. Maybe will make him survive through something that he wouldn't have without them.
I gotta say, this Slark, man, he is just really slippery. I know the theme of the hero kind of fits that too, but holy crap. Justin just keeps juking through these trees down here. They've dived him so many times, I feel like. They cannot just catch up to him. The fact that he has 0 deaths, I honestly think is almost a little bit surprising, right? How do you feel? Because they were trialing down here. They've been trying to kill him. Is that, that's a good job, right, for Justin, even though he's not getting the greatest farm. Invoker takes Alina, it looks like, here. The top
yeah,
lane,
it's definitely a necessity in a game like this. You can't give up kills and lose your lane. So him giving up maybe some CS that he would have gotten if he would have played up, but making sure he doesn't die, so that way he gets the constant tick gold, doesn't lose any gold, isn't forced to buy a TP import to lane, just saving himself some economy overall, and starting to creep his way back up. 5th in the net worth right now, so not near as bad as he was before. It has the Aqua Love as well, so a little more armor versus the Lifestealer right clicks.
Oh, Batrider setting himself on the uphill over here. Has that Flame Break. Excuse me, the Firefly even ready to go. It does have the Flame Break too, but Firefly ready to activate if he finds the opportunity. And, Courier flying right past him. You see Pink's coming out, so might have actually spotted that. The X marks the spot. They're going to pull in this crit right here on that Rubik, and there's really not much chance for him to survive through this. Dragon Slave, everything coming out, and easy enough for the kill. So, well played as they collapse in the middle lane. The only one not here, of course, is that Slark at the bottom lane who's busy dealing with the Lifestealer. Is going to get the middle tower, though, and Lifestealer, of course, will be fine as he continues to be. So, nice objectives here by Complexity. Wow, it took a while to get that tower kill, the fortification kicking in, but finally getting. There's the Blink Dagger now on a TA. They got him pick up.
Yeah, they're definitely looking to go fight right around this timing. This is when they want to fight. They have the boat on the Kunkka now. The Lina is level 6 too. Batrider having the drums, lasso up. So they may come down to the spot lane and look to fight here. something brewing.
Oh yeah, JK finally! I mean, you bang on a door so many times, so somebody's finally going to answer it. Basically what happened right there is something. Anyways, Justin goes down. They do take out Crit in return, so it ends up being a 1-for-1, but still the favorite target, of course, for Evil Geniuses. So yeah, they kept on rinse and repeating down here, but now you got the armlet, of course, onto Lifestealer. Middle lane, meanwhile, Invoker takes the boat to the face right there, and he is going to be taken out as TA with that newly purchased Blink Dagger of him, closes the gap and secures the kill onto Invoker. Is that 4 deaths now? Yeah, he is 4 deaths on that Invoker. I mean, he's 3-4-1, so not the worst stat line ever, but he's having trouble staying alive this game, safe to say, for EG. But yeah, good kill on JK bottom lane, though.
Yeah, those early deaths, sort of leading into these deaths now, putting him a little farther behind, giving Complexity some levels, and now with the mid tower down, it's really, really hard to play around this area, trying to get the lane out so they aren't able to pressure the T2 and have all this vision from the lane being pushed in, and Complexity just being there, realizing he was going to move back to there and getting the quick kill.
Speaking of getting killed, Moo, he's going to follow that trend right here. He gets taken out the open wounds initiation and had the follow-up to secure that right there. Z-Freak putting the pullback onto Lifestealer, as meanwhile Slark got picked up in the bottom lane while there's interaction going on at the top lane. So how about that? Nyx Assassin takes out the Slark. Probably some assistance from Invoker, I would assume, but we're not done over here just yet. Lina putting his burst in a Crit, but Crit puts it right back into his face with the Laguna Blade right there. Well played by Crit, steals it and throws it right back at him. Arteezy, meanwhile, trying to stay alive here at the top lane. He's not only going to stay alive, in fact, he's out damage now, turning onto Templar. There goes a Sunstrike and cancel. Oh, he's going to sit there with the melt. It ain't going to be enough, though. They know exactly where he is, of course, and they do still take him out. So Evil Geniuses, big fight for them here at the top lane. And that's one of those kind of, you know, setting the mood of the game right here fights. 2-for-1 exchange, I guess, there in the long run, but looks pretty good for them.
Yeah, the Batrider getting picked off initially, and then that kill bottom actually pretty huge. Because of that kill, the Nyx got his Blink Dagger and was able to go top and get the stun on the TA, freshly showing that off. So Universe really, really farms on the Nyx Assassin for a hero that has really no farming mechanics, hero that needs to get kills early on to be able to get items later in the game. Really where he wants to be, has the really early Blink Dagger, probably going to go into the Ags next. So EG just has a lot of ways to initiate. Nyx Assassin, a hero that doesn't have like a Blink Dagger, or doesn't have a like a super movement ability innately, and so going for the Blink Dagger, making him more like a Slaughter or a Sand King, because you want to have a Blink Dagger whenever with your Nyx bombs.
Speaking of that, it's like right on cue, man. They just jump on a Lina. What is that, a 7th death? 8th death? Oh, I'm sorry, I underrated it. No, Melon's having a struggle right here, to say the very least. Meanwhile, he gets thrown into the spikes there, gets the stun as a result, but Moo will be fine, as he has that team support nearby. But you can just tell EG's just on full active mode right now. This lineup is perfect for that. Z-Freak, the ship comes out, he gets pushed forward though. Not where he wants to be. He too is going to fall. It just is not stopping. And this is that train that just left home, and it ain't coming back. As everyone just looks back and only just waving to everyone. I don't know, I'm going on with that. Anyways, they're going to push this middle tower. Sometimes you get caught just saying things, you try to make it work, and it just doesn't, you know?
Yeah, gotta drop the shovel.
Yeah, something like that. But I guess the ultimate point here is that Complexity. It just feels like now the window's kind of shutting for them. I mean, where's their game plan? They're now down 15-9 hero kills. That net worth is the highest it's been, over 4,000. What do they need to do? Just really recovering Slark here on farm? Is that basically it?
Yeah, they just need to wait for him to get his Shadow Blade, then they can start making more stuff happen, get all 5 of their heroes involved. But as of now, the Slark is basically just a glorified fast farming creep. Can't really do much until he has the Shadow Blade, no way to get into these fights. And so Complexity just sort of has to play keep away for the next several minutes while he farms that up, trying not to give away too many pickoffs to the Nyx and the Lifestealer, because if they do give away a whole lot of kills, which is very easy to do with the Lifestealer having the Deso now, so two-shotting almost all of Complexity's heroes. If they can play keep away for long enough, can get to their items and maybe take some good fights.
Yeah. Well, they do get... Oh, no, that's Kunkka dying. Never mind. Kunkka was making a play, but never mind. Nyx Assassin picks him off. It looks like I was watching them push the bottom tower in the meantime, but that's just, yeah, running into the Nyx right there. I'm guessing Lifestealer also a part of that, and yeah, it looks like that Infest on cooldown now, so camera issues kicking in, but Kunkka gets killed, and now into the Roshan pit we go. Should be an easy Aegis here 4 evil geniuses. I don't think Complexity going to be even too interested, even if they know. And it looks like they do. They do got a little bit of vision down here. Look, you see the Observer Ward nearby. They also have a trap in the area, but understandably, I think EG is, or excuse me, Complexity is choosing not to defend this. Not really the fight card to do so.
It's definitely not really a fightable fight. The Kunkka had just ported top as well, so no way for them to use the boat in the pit. It's too hard for them to move up. coL dying though.
Yeah, I mean, coL was there a little bit earlier than maybe it should have been when the team was finishing off Roshan, so they take advantage of that at least. They get him picked, so a little bit of a present for Complexity. But here goes Universe. The Vendetta and the Lifestealer inside him. Who's that target going to be? TA, no, he blinks away. They're just pinging. I mean, they know something's up, and yeah, they're going to actually fall back enough right now. Oh, the Courier. Yep, he'll get the Courier.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Nothing on it, but still.
Yeah, it's a nice amount of gold. Shows where they are, so they immediately TP bottom and trying to kill someone in this jungle, maybe farming there, but the ward spots them out. Swindle may get out. Nope, he's dead.
What is that? Yeah, 1-9-4. Not a pretty game. Mixed Assassin. It's obviously, you know, I'm not saying if he was another hero this game would be completely different, but when you pick a hero like Luna, or Lena, excuse me, it does feel like that it better do fairly well, or else people are going to really kind of question that as far as the draft goes. I mean, do you feel that way, or do you think the Lena is just a fine pick? It just happens to not be doing well here.
I don't know. The hero is sort of weird. I guess it fits.
Yeah, Invoker actually getting pulled here at the top lane meanwhile, so Complexity, they're going to get the Aegis Burn, but now Lifestealer running in, open wounds applied to Slark. Are they going to chase this? It looks like they want to. Invoker in pursuit as well. Another pounce away. Does have more support coming. Nyx running in with that Vendetta. The ship going to be used by Z-Freak. It will miss, unfortunately. Of course, he gets the buff from that still, but he's definitely in trouble. Goes for the TP. That ain't going to work, though. And he will be taken out. So they do eventually at least get Kunkka there in response.
Yeah. Nice cleanup kill.
I'll take that.
TA has the Deso now, so gonna have a lot more damage, but... Whoa, what the heck?
Well, he just relocated the Nyx down here, actually, with that Infest Palm, and now Swindelmel's again. Oh, no, he's in trouble. A couple of hits later, he will die. TA trying to make a play. We'll get the play on a coL there as he takes him out. But now Moo's in trouble. Batrider down about 10% of his life. Lifestealer and being pulled in, actually. We'll get taken out. So well played right there for a turn kill. And now Nyx Assassin, he's not going to hang around to try for anything else. Sumail will also fall back rather than trying to commit to something there. So Complexity, they kill Lifestealer. Nice little comeback in the works here, perhaps.
Yeah, getting the Shadow Blade, the TA getting Deso, and you know, showing how good TA is versus Lifestealer. Lifestealer has no way really to kill the TA. The Refraction just sort of owning the hero, blocks all of his rage attacks, and then the Deso just shredding the Lifestealer with his super low armor.
Oh, can he kill the Invoker right here? Well, he does have a double damage. Is it enough damage? Yes, it is. But at what cost? He's in trouble now. Pops the Shadow Dance, but TA jumps in as well. And now Spiked Carapace trying to keep Nyx alive. Maybe get that turn kill. Still ain't going to happen, but Rubik will finally come in and clean him up. So they do take out Slark right there, but he did kill both the Nyx as well as the Invoker prior to that. So, again, I still think definitely a fair trade for the Slark.
Getting like 1,300 gold from those two kills. So from getting his Lothar just a couple minutes ago, now already has the Echo Saber, so actually on a reasonable timing train, only around 1k behind the Lifestealer, who's had an amazing game, and the TA doing really well, almost a BKB now after those couple of kills bottom, and farming out this this bot lane area several times is actually quite farmed. So Complexity, after the rough early start, getting a few pickoff kills here and there, the lucky DD on the Slark letting him get those 2 kills, and now looking in a considerably better position. Invoker really far behind.
You say lucky, I say planned. You know, he went there expecting that double damage, and it happened to be there. So, well played by JK. So, yeah, but the Echo Saber pickup now. So, again, all of a sudden, signs of life for Complexity once again. Has to feel pretty good. Any other significant items coming out? Looks like a BKB on Batrider to follow his earlier build here of the Blink Dagger and the drums. You like the BKB choice, or no Force Staff here or anything like that?
I think the BKB is good. It makes it so the Lifestealer can't really get onto him in fights. He can only jump on him with the with the Nyx Assassin and burst him. So if EG doesn't get the initial jump once they have these BKBs out, Complexity can take these fights quite easily because with their BKBs, they have no way to get on top of them.
Jump over here. Dark Pack popped as well. Samael, though, thrown in the air. He's going to be fine for the time being. It looks like using that Ghost Walk will be fine for now. Once again, Crit, though, in the background. He's not so fine. Dropping about a third of his life before getting the support he needs to be fine for now. But they do take out Lifestealer in the midst of it, actually. A lot of explosions all over the place. A 1-for-0 so far. And you see Samael in the background. He's just continuing to run. Does have that Yule Scepter coming back up in 1 second. Has ability to use it if need be. There we go. Going to. X marks the spot. Now pulling him back as a result. And a nice pushback with the Blinding Light from coL on top of that. But, again, number-wise, Complexity taking out Lifestealer, a 1-for-0 in that fight. Another case of coming out on top there.
Yeah, Nyx actually missing the stun just barely, so I think it was aimed at the TA, so letting her get away just a tad. Missed it at the beginning of the fight, so without that stun, they really don't have a way to lock heroes down. It's sort of biting them at the end.
That Yule Scepter, Samael on top of that with the X marks the spot, but it's not going to matter. The damage is real. Lina especially assisting. Laguna Blade not even needed there, actually. That was just simply a burst from the Q and the W. And secures the kill onto Invoker. So these pickoffs are happening in Complexity. Again, this is game number 1 of this best-of-3 series. And you take a look at the charts as well. I mean, that kind of tells a story if you weren't aware already. I mean, the comeback is most certainly real here for Complexity. And Hill, the experience lead over 5,000 experience lead now. In their favor as well. And, I mean, so now we can start having the conversation. You're looking at these lineups here as far as we adjust more to the mid game and eventually the late game. I mean, does Complexity, are they going to be feared in the later game, you feel, as TA? Uh-oh. Well, so much for that momentum at Complexity. They finally get a pick off there.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to gets the initiation and vision. Complexity has one of the best nighttime fighters in the game, and the Slark has the full nighttime vision, so definitely has an advantage there with the Nyx Assassin. You know, an Invis hero, obviously really good for scouting. So whoever can get the jump in these fights will probably come out on top. EG needing the jump more than Complexity does. Complexity has the luxury to just sort of run into these fights with the Bat Rider, with the Kunkka X's, Slark Lothars, and just initiating that way. But EG needs that initial pick off with the Nyx ganks, you know, getting the TA there, showing it off. If they don't get that, they don't really have a way to lock onto people. Need that initial kill and then able to take the fight from there afterwards.
Ooh, they're going to smoke on through right here in the middle lane. Don't know if they were spotted or not, but I don't think they were, in fact. And Lifestealer jumping inside the Nyx. And they're in pursuit. You see drawing the circle around. Lina, uh-oh. Lina again, the one that may end up falling victim to this. She puts the sentry down, but there's the easy jump, and Sunstrike not even necessary to get the kill prior. You know, I guess if you're Complexity, though, with how much that roamed them, and they use the smoke, they're all sticking together, spending all that time. Losing Lena, who's now died 11 times, not really the biggest deal. Your Complexity, so.
Yeah, it's definitely the hero you wouldn't mind the most if they get picked off. But the coL having the Ags now as well, so going back to that vision game, EG much stronger in the daytime now with the Nyx scouting around. The Ags gem, so no real way at all for Slark to get on top of these heroes in the daytime. So I think Complexity is just going to farm for the next couple of minutes till 28 whenever it goes back to nighttime. Then maybe they can think about going for a fight. But in the daytime like this, there's just no way for this Slark to enter these fights without just getting mana leaks, forced to Dark Pack, maybe ults. And then after that, he's just not really a useful hero as he's too easy to take down.
A lot of sticking together here from EG coming out. See, in their own jungle even, so they're definitely feeling fearful at this point of the game, you know, waiting for kind of a reset of cooldowns here, the Vendetta especially. Looks like they're counter-warding. You mentioned that vision coming out of coL now with that Ag, so taking advantage there with the aggressive counter-warding coming out. But you take a look at the vision for Complexity right now, especially losing those wards. So, again, going back to being fairly dark for them once again. They do have these traps throughout, but other than that, not a whole lot. But same thing really for EG side. It's not like they're much better, so a lot of darkness again. So you're getting at there as far as on the map overall. There's an Assault Curious onto Lifestealer here. Now just finish that to go with the Desolator, so the minus armor is real. And are they going to be smoking again? No, doesn't look like it, just jumping inside.
Yeah, the AC pretty huge pickup. The TA doesn't do very much damage versus Lifestealer anymore, so even if the Lifestealer does get sort of stranded, it doesn't have the same level of burst damage versus him, so fights may go a little bit better for them.
Oh, he pops the dark pack just in case, so. Yeah, I know something's up. Obviously, the trap's helping to give them that information right here. Nyx Assassin playing it very, very careful. Not gonna overcommit. Of course, knows that Bat Rider does have the gem on him. Or at least suspicious, if not. And smoke being delivered now to Complexity, meanwhile. Looks like Lena just purchasing one. So we'll see if they maybe go for a play themselves. But they are going to push this bottom tower. Happens to still be up. University Impale open, though. There's the Sunstrike on top of Cancel. He's going to be fine for the time being. Pops the BKB, turns on Arteezy now. The ship coming out. Wilhelmsen gets pulled back in, though. He's going to end up getting taken out. Does the TA, but Arteezy not much better. He goes down on the live stealer. Rubik also picked off. coL trying to stay alive. Stuck right there, but he finally started to run away. Moo, meanwhile, he goes down in the background to Universe. Looks like a buyback on a Rubik, actually. Helping to get some turn kills. Now Swindle's going to fall. And the chase is on at JK right here, but he's still got some life and some damage to work with. Pounces in. Is going to pop that Shadow Blade, though. Goes for the run. Gets lifted up, though, and that should do it for him. The Yule Scepter, and there's the combo to secure the kill. Triple kill coming out for Universe when it's all said and done. I believe the only buyback on a Rubik, too. Wow, big turn there for EG.
Yeah, they also got the Batrider's gem, so that may be the biggest part of the fights. Now, going to be able to take back the vision of the map. Also, this crucial nighttime phase, they're all dead. They're going to have to push out their lanes whenever they spawn, so by the time they're ready to do something, there's not going to be much nighttime left. So EG in a really good spot after that fight. The Lifestealer going on the TA in that fight, just one hit away from breaking his refraction, so the Sunstrike missing and able to get his BKB off with the and then pop his refraction immediately after having refraction and BKB up, and the Lifestealer's rage wearing off just before the boat hit. If that hadn't happened, this fight would have been even more in favor of EG. Both cores of EG dying, so decent for Complexity, but they're going to get the Roche and have some serious map control after that. So overall, definitely heavily EG favored fight.
How do you say Assault Curious?
Assault Cuirass.
Assault Cuirass?
Cuirass? Is that? I don't know what's correct.
See, I don't even know, but it's one of those. It's one of those. I think it might be more Assault Cuirass. I've always called it Assault Curious. I guess not Curious, but Assault Curious. Anyways, jump here, initiation as they lasso in on Invoker. The combo from Kunkka to follow, and down goes the Invoker. The X marks the spot here onto Universe, but the Yule Scepter yet again, they're doing a good job with that. But TH up to the background and bursts down the Rubik. Arteezy with that rage up, though, sitting on JK, but he pops a Shadow Dance now, and all of a sudden Arteezy, the one that's running, he infests into his teammate, only to have him die shortly after, and then pounce forward from JK. Arteezy, he's in trouble, he's going to fall, has that Aegis on him. Can they kill him after the fact? Meanwhile, they do get the pick over there onto Zion to play that coL, and Arteezy, the rage pop with the TP. He will survive, but a 4 for nothing. Oh my god, for Complexity right there. Basically a 5 for nothing if you count the Aegis kill as well. How on earth did that take place?
Yeah, they all just sort of ran to the middle of the river, and the Rubik dying initially to the boat. The TA getting most of the heroes getting the rum on them as well, so Lifestealer trying to kill some heroes, but the Slark popping his ult, and just sort of resetting the fight like that. The Invoker ran right into the middle of the thing, got 3-shot by the TA, didn't really get any spells off. The Nyx Assassin wasted his Yules because the Kunkka X'd him and then didn't torrent, so popping the Yules and then still having the torrent afterwards, it just sort of ran into the river and got kited by all the Complexity's short cooldown spells, the X, the Napalm, sort of kited around and burst.
Taking a look at some item progression. The bottom tower does go down. TA's actually caught here by the Yule Scepter. Pops the BKB, though, and he's doing plenty of damage every turn. The stun on a Universe. He will eventually burn due to that Fireflight right there of Moo, and the chase continues on the crit now. I don't know if he's getting away from this one. The Blinding Light attempted to assist with that, but it ain't gonna happen. The Ice Wall is down. Moo, he feels the pain from that. The open wounds on top of that. He does get taken out himself, and now TA, he's disarmed actually, and stunned as well. The refraction eventually wearing off right there, and he gets, well, he's able to blink dagger away actually for now, but Lena meanwhile does get picked off throughout it though. Kunkka, he's on the run, Z-Freak. Looks like he's got the distance, but the chase, the tornado in the air, and here comes Lifestealer to ideally try to finish the job, and will do so. So at least they get Kunkka in the end of it as well. But another just clash here really just outside of the base. We're just both teams insisting on going at it here. These big fights.
Yeah, it's they sort of just overextended a little bit. The TA running out of mana, getting mana leaked a couple of times with his BKB down because he used it earlier to kill Universe. So running out of mana, no more refraction charges, and just barely slipping away. They didn't realize his blink did get canceled, so he was able to blink away with 0 mana and only like 700 HP or something. So it could have been a lot worse for Complexity, but just barely slipping away with the blink dagger, not getting it canceled. But a big thing about this game is the TA goes Diffusal now, so this is like one of TA's biggest power spikes. She has the BKB, she has the Diffusal, but as this game goes longer and she uses BKB more and more, this Invoker is going to become very good versus the TA. In the early stages of the game, it's a TA favored like matchup in the game, but as it goes later, the Deafening Blast in the circular, basically the Ravage Deafening Blast becomes super good versus the TA when her BKB's down, and sort of makes her almost a useless hero in the late game.
Oh, Moo jumping in on the background, another fight taking place. Guess what else is new? Catches Invoker with that lasso, finally gets the Yule Scepter off for the time being. Is it going to be enough in the long run? It absolutely is not. JK, the BKB himself. Meanwhile, double stun right there on the Lifestealer as well on Nyx. That was a huge torrent as well as a ship coming out from Z-Freak yet again. Feels like you say that often, but he does it so many times. Sai's going to get picked as well. And a 4-for-1. They did lose TA back here, but obviously coming at a massive cost. The Silver Edge also just picked up prior to that fight by Slark as well. No doubt doing some work throughout it. And look at Complexity. They're just going downhill right here. Lifestealer, the only one with a buyback. They're probably going to get racks here.
Yeah, the TA is dead, so no deaths though, so only the Slark really is going to do damage to buildings, but having 14 Essence Shift stacks, so they may actually be able to get a racks, like you said. The Invoker just keeps getting blown up at the beginning of these fights, not really getting any spells off. All he did that fight was Yules himself, and, you know, maybe Alacrity somebody, but that was about all. So not really having the kind of impact you want to see from Invoker, and Complexity just like really focusing on every fight, always getting last with the Slark, finding him in fights, getting X'd, forcing him to defensive Yule, and, you know, just not really able to get enough spells off.
Crit getting a little too close right there. He ends up going down, so a little bit of a misplay. It's one of those cases it's like, what are you really going to accomplish there? And dying is pretty much the worst case scenario. So hey, he's dead for another 30 seconds. But hey, in the end, they do get the racks anyways. And Complexity will now fall back, go retreat mode, and kind of recoup and regenerate here. So yeah, TA though back up as mentioned, and talked about the Diffusal Blade got prior to that here. But yeah, so it sounded like as that fight was kind of breaking out, you do like the idea of Sumail here on the Invoker becoming more and more useful now. It's going to be scaling better, I guess, as this game continues on. I mean, we're down to 6 seconds now on that BKB of cancel here. So it's level 23, right? The AoE blast here.
Yes, so yeah, it's level 23.
Okay. So gets to that, and that's going to be the key mark here.
Yeah, this game is sort of gotten into a weird place. Originally, EG was the one that wanted quick fights. They wanted to burst a couple of heroes, be able to kill them, and then, you know, take the fight from there because the coL had started getting fresh BKBs. But now their BKBs are starting getting lower on the timers. EG is starting to want to favor like longer fights more. They have a lot of Nyx Assassin mana burns. They can get out the Invoker, get out a lot of spells. And Complexity is the one looking for the short fights. So wanting to kill people inside the lasso, the TA being able to get as many kills as she can during the BKB, because whenever all their BKBs are down, the lasso is down, they can get kited by the Invoker spells, lots of mana burns, carapaces, and the coL just throwing out Blinding Light after Blinding Light because of this Agnum Scepter and the permanent ulti. So sort of like how they want to take the fights and play the game is sort of switched as the game has gone on.
Actually curious about your thoughts here on the choice by Nyx. It's been a while now, of course, and he is trying to finish it here, but the fact that he chose to go that Yules over the Ags instead as priority, do you think that's kind of, you know, biting him in the ass here, or is it fine going the Yules first?
I think it's something you have to go versus the Kunkka. It super counters that hero, as it, you know, just makes him miss his whole combo and sort of neutralizes him. Yule is also nice versus the, like, it helps them kite a little bit better. And yeah, basically just versus the Kunkka, it's sort of a necessity. Or the Nyx will just get controlled super easily with no, like, he's obviously not a BKB buyer, so yeah. You typically need either one of those two items versus Kunkka, or you're just too easy to kill as a core.
Well, bottom tower push, that's a massive creep wave, and thus an easy tower kill down here. Is that the last? No, there's still a middle tower. It's, well, 6 life on this secondary middle tower here for Complexity, so might as well be dead kind of deal, so. But EG, they're not going to break through just yet. They're not sure exactly where Complexity is. They don't have the greatest vision on them right now. So, yeah, they're just going to get the hell on out of here as Complexity was falling back, as we see, ready to defend here. So, good job by EG having the heads up, but of course down the one set of racks are playing from behind. That Ag Scepter, one item away now for Universe here, about 1,000 gold before he will have that picked up, which again, kind of going to be a key item. Level 19 Invoker, so still a little bit of time before he hits that kind of max peak at level 23. With the AoE Deafening Blast. And Universe running in right here. He's going to open on to Lena. Not going to get the kill initially, but the Sunstrike will secure that. But now, is it going to come at a cost? We'll find out. Cancel. It's pulled. What was that about? Just twin it right there. Meanwhile, the Spiked Carapace is going to be used. Cancel, though, insisting on chasing one more auto attack and do it. Yes, they do secure the kill. The lasso on the lifesteal as well. Next to him, allowing for the Templar to still provide some good damage. JK, he has his BKB popped, but he's getting the hell on out of there. Looks like it ends up being a 1-for-1 there, despite the chaos.
Yeah, the Nyx blinking right after he hit the ground from the Yules, and then X immediately back. So almost lived there, and then sort of just blinking back and forth, getting X some like weird shenanigans, and it made the fight play out kind of odd. But like we saw, once their BKBs are out, Complexity just sort of has to run, and 5 seconds on the TA and 7 on Slark. So slowly ticking down and down on the Invoker with the Lincolns now, so not as easy for them to kill him at the beginning of these fights anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. There's that Lincoln's officially purchased here by the Invoker, so definitely a case of Complexity wanting to really get the damage done while they still have a hefty lead here at this point. You see the Eye of Scotty picked up by Slark meanwhile. Nice mix of an item, survivability, as well as the less of a kite factor, of course. As Regen Rune picked up down here by Arteezy, not a big deal necessarily. But Skull Basher is on him for moving forward as well, some more of a damage threat. So just overall, looking at the items, nothing else standing out too much here. We got.
Yeah, that the Scotty is gonna do a whole lot of work. Also super good versus the Nyx Assassin. They have a lot of heroes that just sort of like want to run away. Not really too many mobility spells, other than like the you can do the Yule's blink thing, but you can always just time your Dark Pack so right whenever they land, they get hit by it. And the Scotty is just really good versus a Lifestealer, a hero that's not particularly fast, needs the phase boots to get around, doesn't ever buy a blink dagger or anything like that, and requires some other heroes to move him around. So if he can lock onto somebody with the Scotty, things can get pretty grim for EG.
Yeah. Complexity. They're actually looking to push through right here, trying to break into the base. I mean, we're probably, I was going to say we're probably going to be having another Roshan, and sure enough, EG is over there doing it. And I got to say, Complexity, yeah, they have no clue, and that's going to be an easy Aegis for EG. You would think that they would want to defend that if you're Complexity there. No reason not to. So that was a nice steal, really, from Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, it was really nice realizing what they need to do to get back into this game from EG. You can see, like, for the last several minutes, they've been playing around this bottom lane where coL has held this top side of the map, farming the Dire Jungle. And just, holding this control of, constantly pushing out the bottom lane as far as they can, getting this mid lane out by Sumail, like, spamming tornadoes and stuff, setting the forward spirits down. So they do have control of this lane, and not so easy for Complexity to realize whether they're just farming the jungle or they're doing Roshan, they're doing Ancients, whatever.
Yeah.
And so EG just, like, holding, like, the correct portion of the map and getting that Roche versus a TA lineup. TA in this part of the game really needs Aegis, either that or good initiations and like quick favorable fights, because as the game goes longer and longer, TA not a very good scaling core compared to other heroes, like the Invoker.
So the movement down here from EG at the bottom, the smoke being used to get all the way down here. Pings on a JK, but there's the eventual opening. No, not going to happen. They get the mana burn, though, on a TA. Obviously left Willie without none. Last one in the background of the Lifestealers. A ship comes through from Kunkka, but Arteezy kind of in the midst of it. There's a ship coming through for Kunkka. That was the Rubik actually using his ship, of course, going from the right to left. Should have figured that one. I mean, what that was about. But the ships collide, and they end up getting the Aegis use on top of that. So good fight so far for Complexity. Can they hold in the long run, though, is the question.
Yeah, they're realizing that all their BKBs are down and gonna punish them, force them to take a fight on EG's terms. Nyx missing the stun at the beginning of the fight, actually costing them the kill and cancels, so a hard stun to hit, but just barely missed.
Arteezy just feeling confident in those front lines, has that rage up currently, putting some good damage into the melee racks. The regen coming out, the creeps are coming though. Will help with that stun on the Lifestealer. TA putting some damage in, gets pushed further with the blinding light, and now he's in a bad spot actually, gets forced out forward even further. Arteezy in the background That's a damage onto JK. Another ship coming out, though, from Kunkka, excuse me, as the Bat Rider was picked off. He does buy back, though, pretty much instantly. He also has another lasso ready to go, so we'll see if Bat Rider can find that opportunity right now. Trap in the front grounds. JK standing strong up here as well. Does pop that Shadow Dance. They get the cut of Lifestealer, and now some Mountain Trouble. He'll get bursted down. Laguna Blade coming out as well to assist with that, I believe. Crit, meanwhile, trying to hold his ground. Has Nyx Assassin and coL to support. Is that going to be enough, though? I don't know. Z-Freak, one more auto attack. Yes, he actually does get him killed, and Bat Rider has to fly the hell out of there. But now Rubik in trouble as JK turns onto him and eventually takes him out. Triple kill for Justin here. And coL getting creep locked a little bit. That could do him in, as Bat Rider is going to chase. Flame Break pushing backwards. Bat Rider, though, now he takes the Impel Stun. Nyx says, I might as well burst you down if you're going to jump in here like that. Ain't going to happen, though. coL gets picked up, and now Lifestealer's back into the fight, so we're just keep on going here. Arteezy, though, using the cheese. Is it going to be enough? Absolutely not. He ends up going down. Did take out Lina. Not what you want, though. In Complexity, the long story short, they hold at the bottom lane.
Yeah, EG wanting these long fights sort of turned back the other way, as Slark wants the long fights as well, and so it going a little bit too long. The BKB's coming back up, the TA going in and making them waste some time. There was a period where the creeps weren't there. The wave was a little far away, and so the factor protection set in, so they weren't actually able to get the racks. And the Slark getting like 52 stacks at the peak of that fight, so just absolutely shredding everyone. And the Lifestealer bought back for that, so Complexity able to get mega creeps here.
Bought back, used the cheese, used the Aegis. I mean, Lifestealer was all in over and over again on that fight, and you know, you could almost say essentially died 3 times if you include the cheese even. So, but yeah, hell of a fight for Complexity, and now they're breaking through the bottom. You do see EG has a couple players back up. coL resurrecting in a couple seconds right here, but Lifestealer's not going to be up for 25, and that's an easy melee rack kill as a result. And Complexity doing their best to get back in. It looks like they will successfully. So, mission accomplished yet again for Complexity. Again, guys, this is game number 1 in this best of 3. And right now, Complexity in the spot to go up 1-0 in the series. Pending a hold some way, somehow from EG. It's not going to help things, though. Slark jumps in on a crit. 5 or 6 auto attacks later. Gets the kill. He pounds pretty far to get on this. Pops a Shadow Dance. There's a Dark Pact. He's running. No more mana left for him, though. The Sunstrike does connect. This is a stun as well for the Spiky Carapace. But in comes the shift now. The Torrent on top, and now Complexity support is here. And they're turning big time. Lifestealer yet again locked down with that lasso. He will infest and be fine for the time being. And I see the Burrow from Universe throughout that to help keep him alive. So Invoker, or Rubik, excuse me, the only one dying there. But it's just keep on going for Complexity. So EG, their time is nearly ran out, it feels like. Game 1.
Yeah, they don't really have a way to kill the Slark anymore. He has so much armor with the AC and the Vlads they have, so up to like 30 armor, 3k HP, has the BKB, the Dark Pact, and the ults. It's just super hard for them to kill him, and not a lot of burst damage on EG either. The Nyx, not amazing versus Slark, and things looking pretty grim for them.
Obviously, they're not giving in. They are holding 5,600 gold on Invoker. Again, he's level 21 as well, so not at that level 23 just yet. I mean, is there something that Invoker could buy here, maybe that he should be, you think, or is it just not really worth it? Obviously, buyback is important too, but... Oh, well, they're jumping in. Yeah, here we go. The Bat Rider initiation with the lasso. The ship in the background connects on it, too, with that Torrent. Again, Z-Freak on top of both Universe and coL getting caught. I believe Universe will end up going down. You see the life pool just melting on the side of EG. Arteezy in the background trying to finish off Cancel. He'll help successfully do that, but it comes at a cost for his life right there. Buyback onto TA, though, and he's going to be looking to come right back into the fight. Has those bots on him now. Porting back in and looking to actually finish the job here in game number 1 for Complexity. JK just sitting on the racks. You got Kunkka on the front lines with Cancel, who came back in. I think those GGs are coming out any second now from EG.
Yeah, Complexity, initially being thought the underdogs going into this match, playing quite well. EG a little bit sloppy, taking some goofy fights, and Complexity able to get back into this game. Whoa.
Is Cancel dead? Oh my god, he actually is. Well, a little bit of something there from EG as they actually get Cancel picked up. A little too much of a dive. Did a good job of controlling the character for him. But yeah, we are at mega creeps here, so I think Complexity is just fine with whatever really happens. I mean, TA is dead for 100 seconds, but not shouldn't be the biggest deal, I would think. So now kind of like doing the hindsight analyzing here, Quinn. I mean, the draft. I mean, was a TA? Did that prove to be the strong pick? I mean, where do you think things went right here for Complexity?
I mean, they just sort of did what they needed to do. They cut losses. This early game, you know, obviously the Slark didn't have a great time, but Sumail's making some like pretty large early game mistakes. Let this TA get to a place where she could be the space maker for the Slark while he caught up, got a Shadow Blade. They took some good fights.
Yeah.
And the game just sort of like went well from them for there. A lot of really great torrents by Z-Freak. And, you know, just like overall good team play in these fights. But EG not out of it yet. They're gonna try and end. Slark actually no buyback for 60 seconds, and TA no buyback period, so maybe some crazy stuff gonna happen.
I was about to say, I really hope I don't eat my words right here. Here I am almost doing a post-game, you know, wrap-up, and sure enough, yeah, the no buybacks, you mentioned Slark to over 70 here, TA for another 25. I mean, they should be able to at least get a Rax right here. But again, only getting one Rax, and then they are dealing with mega creeps. I don't know if that is going to prove to be enough, but they're going to try, and you definitely can't blame them here. RTC, they're going right for it, right for the tier 4 even. They don't even give a crap right here. So they're just massively pushing with a death ball. 45 seconds still on Slark, so he's not going to be back up. There's the buyback. He just got enough for the buyback, actually, and all of a sudden everything changes. Lifestealer goes down. Down goes the Nyx. And here goes Complexity, full force, just taking out EG. They get the kill on a coL. There you see the buyback on a Nyx Assassin, but finally the GGs come out, and game 1 will go to Complexity here against EG. So valiant effort from EG, definitely, to kind of start coming back. But Complexity, how about that? They take game number 1 here in this series.
That was pretty impressive. Justin not dying in that early game, except for, you know, the one time later on, died to a Nyx gank, but overall, everybody cutting their losses pretty well. Like we said before, the early game definitely favoring EG, but some small mistakes leading to be bigger in the end, and Complexity taking it.
You think those first couple of bans from EG right there of the Leshrac and the Warlock, is there something else they're going to be looking to ban the second game, or is it still going to be sticking to their guns there?
I'm not sure. I don't know about the Lesh ban. I think they'll still stick to the Warlock. Complexity plays it very well. And Swindle is not a person that typically plays very defensive heroes. He plays more teamfight heroes that can start ganks. He is almost always a part of like the big scale team fights and not really playing like your Oracle type heroes, those types of things. So I think the Warlock ban will stay. As for the Lesh, I'm not really sure. They may reach out to something different. We'll have to see.
Yeah. It should be fun to see what happens here, game number 2. But again, game 1 going to Complexity.